We all like our homes to look beautiful on the inside and the outside. Landscaping, everybody. A company here with 22 years experience and an expert that's going to talk about it. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to Your Little Castle Show. Yours truly, the Cardinal Cowboy. I've got the hat here, don't you worry. We've got our rings. We're having a lot of fun in the community and doing fun stuff. And we get to meet the leaders in the community making a difference. Joining us in studio today is Peyton Baker. She's the supervisor working now with the family business. It's been a business 22 years, that's right?
It sure has been, yeah. It's been exciting.
You've been involved for a number of years now. Do you enjoy what you're doing here?
I sure do. It took me a few things to find out that this is where I was going to go. Went to school, studied horticulture, and then I found out along the way I wanted to do landscaping. I worked at a vineyard, a golf course, and a greenhouse. Then to find out I wanted to stay outdoors and do everything that my family covers here in St. Louis.
Stick with the family business. It's been around for a long time, been proven to be very successful. So what exactly led you here? I mean, you've been involved with the company, you've been around it, obviously. You said your dad started it when you were born.
Yes.
Right? And so now you'd seen it for that long and said, hey, I'm going to try some other stuff. Ultimately, what is it that brought you back into it?
Yeah, so I did an internship. Originally, I wanted to do a vineyard. I wanted to work in one, see if I could establish it, and eventually kind of do my own thing. After seeing my parents make their own business, I thought maybe one day I could do a vineyard. And I did an internship at La Chance Vineyard down in DeSoto. Okay. And they have a beautiful landscape and they have the vineyard. And I love the landscape, and the vineyard just wasn't as much for me. Okay. So once I did that internship, I realized the vineyard isn't what I wanted to do. And then when I went back to school at Murray State, this nice elderly lady wanted her front landscape done. So I got to do some design, and I was in a landscape design class. And we got to hand sketch her beds, what she wanted, and it just ended up, I was really falling in love with it. So then when I came back for winter break, I was like, Mom and Dad, I think I might want to do the family business. I'm like, I've really just enjoyed parts of it, and I'm going to come back home, and they were thrilled. So it worked out really well.
Well, it works out nicely, yeah. I mean, a lot of times kids go off and they don't want to be part of the family business. I can name some people, I won't name them out loud. I know they've got very successful businesses and the kids don't want to be involved. So what do? Well, you got to figure out who's going to take it over. Yeah. But it looks like that problem's solved. Now, you got a brother too? Does he help with the business?
So he's in the hardscapes and pools, and I'm in landscape and maintenance. So it's good because we're kind of have like our own little bubble. But we also get to work together sometimes when his jobs just have a larger landscape. I get to come in and do the plants and guide that aspect of it. But it's really fun. He gets to do the liners, the pavers, the retaining walls, the outdoor kitchens. I'm on the lawn maintenance with our commercial properties and our apartments and residential. And then I do the landscape work like front retaining wall beds for garden beds. And then some neighborhoods will come and ask us to do designs for their entrance signs, and I'll help with that. So it's been really exciting, and I get to learn a lot. I'm still learning like the irrigation, the concrete, the hardscape, because I still want to know about it, because I'll go and take pictures and I want to know what I'm photographing. So it's been exciting to learn everything. I've seen it for years, just being at home and parents talking about it, but it's been really exciting to just be in it and kind of understand what they were talking about while we're just at home at dinner.
Yeah, now it's like 22 years of your life you've been involved with seeing it from the outside and then decide, okay, I noticed you also we got your tagline off your website here. You're one source for everything outdoors.
Yes.
What does that mean? I mean, we kind of went through a litany of things. That's what made me think of that. I'm like, wow, you do everything, including somebody. Like we had a neighborhood sign for our subdivision, and somebody had to design that, and then they had to send it off to get it cut, because it was made out of wood. You help with all of that stuff.
Yeah, we do all of that. Yeah, we used to have multiple managers in multiple departments, but they're all under Baker Landscaping and Concrete. So we all get to work together, and we don't have to sub anything out. We kind of have a team that's all in-house that can develop it. We've done decks before, we've done custom homes. It's not something large that we promote, but we've been able to dabble in everything just because we understand all of it just from developing for the last 22 years.
Yeah, once you've got 22 years of experience in anything, you probably you got a lot to offer there. And so I like the fact that you really covered the gamut there, because I'm thinking all the way down to the neighborhood sign, up to the big. And we've got we'll show some great work that is available on their Facebook and then on their website. But of the big beautiful pools, that's a great looking pool over there on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
What's your involvement with that? I mean, you coordinate, is it more your brother's?
Yeah, so that's more my brother's department. He's currently a foreman for the hardscape and pools side of things, but he's helped grown and develop it. We've started the pools about 5 years ago, right around 2020. And he's really been a big involvement of learning the process of like the pool filters, how those get put together, the liners, the paneling, all that stuff. He understands it a lot more than I do. But it's fun to watch him learn it and like understand it, and he's really grasped it. And to see like a project he's put, like he started that project that's on our Facebook, and it took a whole month, and he was there start to finish. He ran the whole thing. So that one we recently just done. So he's really starting to develop it and transition into overseeing the pool side. So it's been really exciting to see him grow and just to work with the family. And see what our day-to-day is, rather than just hearing it at the kitchen table.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a heck of a pool right there, with the fire pit and all the cement and everything.
Yeah, that one's in Union, Missouri. We go all the way from down south to Festus, Farmington, up to, we went all the way to Wright City. We really, nothing limits us too much. If the job's right, that one that's behind our, on our Facebook was in Wright City, that has the pickleball court. And
yeah,
the putting green,
It's like they wanted a pickleball court.
It looks kind of like it's a fake image, but it's real. Everything
putting
looks
green,
like that. Yeah.
They've got a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, they have a pool you can kind of see. It's a little hard in that picture.
Yeah, that's a pool. I see.
We did it from start to finish. All of the plants there, the retaining walls, everything. We've covered in that project.
Wow, so you get to see a little bit of everything and some projects that's like somebody's resort right there.
Yeah,
Pickleball,
they really have it set up nice out there.
They got horses running around there probably too.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Well, that's kind of exciting. 22 years in the business. What is it about this that fuels your passion? When did you decide, okay, I love this now. This is what I really want to do. Tell me about why you love it.
Yeah, I would say it was when I was studying. I got to study the plants, and then I had my design classes, and I liked to incorporate them all and figure, what's best for the plants and what's best for what customers like and all that. Murray State had a very good program, and we got to do like a competition of designing by hand, and then I forget what they're called, but like the on-site maintenance came in, they judged us, and we were redesigning an area for the sorority houses, kind of, more like a sorority courtyard. Okay. And we had to put in plants that fit the right area. We had to incorporate their suggestions of what they wanted, and then we had to present and do a slideshow and explain what we were doing. And that kind of stuff just really thrilled me into wanting to do it for my career, because I just really enjoyed it. And I wanted to learn more about it, because in school we were doing it all by hand, by sketch. So if you messed up, you had to erase, and it was a lot harder. I'm like, I know it can be easier on like a computer. So then I just really wanted to learn that side of things a little bit more. So then just decided to choose it as my career. And
so a little bit of the study you did in college, and the computers, did the computers seem to make more sense to you? And a little easier, AutoCAD, harder. Or what were you using?
I forget, we use like a CAD program. The hardest part for me is elevation. When I was doing it at school, it made sense on paper because it was all flat. But right now I'm still learning the elevation of it. My dad's really good at it, so he teaches me to time a little bit with all of what he does. But it's fun to see everything, and if I mess up, I can just delete it. I don't have to erase it and reset. Like that part I like a lot. It makes it a lot easier. But it's really cool to just see it, because you can put the picture in 3D as well as 2D, so then you can kind of get a visual, and we show our customers like what your project could look like. And it's really cool, this one we did at Wright City that's back there. There's a picture of it before and after, and it looks identical. So it's really cool to see our design become reality.
Like the design,
yeah, it was really neat to see. So then like stuff like that's just really exciting to me, and there's like an art to it that I really enjoy. So that's
what we like. To follow your passion. You never work a day in your life, right? But that's pretty neat. I'm going to go over here quickly. We're up to 10 minutes in the interview already. I appreciate that you have something to say. That makes my job a lot easier.
Well, that's good.
But I'll put up on the wall here. First off, the BBB. A lot of people do appreciate the BBB, and there it is. You've got that A+ rating. that's what got to make you feel good.
It does. It makes it.
Family had to earn that
For
one over
sure,
a long
yeah.
period of time. And then something else that was pretty cool that we picked up on is you guys have all kinds of reviews out
Yes,
there. We're
yeah.
actually sorting them out. And as I look through here, I'm like, holy cow, you guys have done
It
well.
is-
We'll go back
I
to
like
the top.
when they leave them.
Right. Yeah, 40 reviews, a 4.4, so you know they're real. And boy, you go down the line here, and boy, engagement from everybody.
Yeah.
I had an irrigation system installed this week at my residential, and Tyler was exceptional from start to finish, very knowledgeable, professional, courteous, communicated, and kept me informed of the progress. I would definitely recommend, and I bet you I know what it says right there, recommend Baker Landscaping for any work concerning the irrigation system. The price of a new install was very competitive and was well below 2 other bids. So irrigation, I mean, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. We literally can take your yard into nothing, into something, just by looking at it, measuring it, and seeing our vision and putting it together. It's been really good to see. Irrigation's really grown this year, and we have a great foreman on site who's been incredible. So it's really, I'm confident that like all of our divisions are just really strong, and we all understand what's going on. And so like the finished product is usually exceptional because we want our customers' expectations to exceed. So we like to work with them and be like, we do a walkthrough at the end, and we want to make sure their end project is what they were expecting. So it's good to have all of our divisions' backs and to know that the finished project is going to be excellent.
Well, that's what we're all looking for. And just I like to see your passion that you get to kind of engage and like to discuss. Give me a range. What are some of the smaller jobs that you might do, and then how do they go up? They go up to like this resort where you did everything.
It really
tell
does.
Me on the low end, I mean, I guess a retaining wall or something.
Yeah, like a
that
front
fence?
garden bed, I'd say is 5,000 to 7,000 ballpark. It depends on the plants you want. If you want just the common plants, they're a lot cheaper. But if you want more of an exotic plant, that plays a factor. If you want to do mulch or rock, the kind of rock can be really cheap or it can be really expensive.
Okay.
With anything else, it depends if you want to use a stone edging or if you want to do just a spade edging with the shovel. It really just depends on the factor of how much you want to customize it. The smallest thing we do, I don't even know if it's small. I mean, lawn maintenance is the most simple, but it's also to the biggest scale. We have about 350 acres around St. Louis that we cover a year,
Wow.
and we're growing it yearly. Right now we're at 1.4 million for maintenance.
Okay.
And the other divisions I don't know because I don't oversee them.
Right.
But we're growing it, and we want it to grow each and every year. We do from commercial apartments to residential. And it's small, but it's not. It's repetitive, so it makes it not so bad. It's easier than I'd say some of them because there's a lot more moving parts in the other divisions. But there's also a lot of moving parts with lawn maintenance as weather. Yesterday I called my guys off, and it was beautiful. And so you have to play that factor, and it was just great. But that's with that side. But then the biggest ones, it really just depends how extravagant you want to go.
I'll put that back up on the wall there.
Yeah.
That's extravagant to say the least.
For sure, yeah.
And,
I don't recall how long it took because that project was getting done right as I was starting. So I don't know all of how long it took, but I would say
$7 million. But it looks nice. I mean, that's an unbelievable.
I mean, you don't
resort.
have to leave your house, that's for sure.
I'm thinking now, like, why? I've got a little room. I don't think enough for all of that, but I could build.
You could put something for sure. You could do a little putting green or something.
Definitely, yeah. Who wouldn't want to have a little putting green? If I would practice my golf, maybe I could still become a pro golfer.
For sure, I think so.
Never give up.
For sure.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing a lot of that. We're going to come back here in a minute. We're going to talk about some other important things, like what's the biggest mistake people make, and why should somebody choose Baker Landscaping and Concrete. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to show you a little bit of the community stuff we're doing here. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, we're outside Patios. My new best friend here, Jackson. I knew we'd be good buddies because he's got a cool jersey on. Turn around, show everybody. Sure. Hey, I asked who's your favorite player. Nado. Hey.
Nado, baby.
All right, now, what do you, a lot of people, come on up here for me a little bit so we get that mic closer, but my videographer, I'm paying him double what I paid the last guy. So, truth is, a lot of people thought maybe the Cardinals weren't going to have it this year. A little surprise. What do you think has made them the team that they are so far?
I think they got a bunch of young guys that are ready to play and keep going, man. I think they got they're enthusiastic. Everybody thinks they were down, and they're just coming out of the woodworks ready to go.
So, a lot of people got a little, like, there's no superstars besides Nado. They got some talent on this team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Brendan Donovan, youngest guy, one of the youngest guys out there, best player in the league almost, man. He's got
leading the league in hits, I think.
I was about to say, leading in hits, second best in batting average out of everybody in the whole league, I think.
I will add this:
maybe?
if you had a band, hey, Jackson, have you ever seen Brendan Donovan and Jackson at the same place at the same time?
I gotta grow it out a little bit. I gotta grow it out just a little bit longer, man.
Hey, stay tuned for more, everybody. Giddy up, patios, everybody.
Yes, sir.
His name is Carter Rethwisch, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwisch was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! Yeah, so some of the fun we get to engage in the community there, a lot of stuff outside of Busch Stadium and the fun I get to partake. But I tell you, one of the most important questions I get to ask people is, give me a little cost analysis breakdown. And in your space in particular, I know there's people who say they will the DIY, right? Do it yourself. And I'm guilty of that to a certain extent too. But how often do you have people that are in that mindset, and then you have to explain to them, well, you can, but here's what you're putting at risk, and here's some things you need to consider, and then if you have to redo it, and why is it worth hiring a firm like yours to do the job for them?
For sure. I'd say hiring through us, we give you options. So we can design a proposal for you showing anything and everything and that can go into your budget, or we can put anything and everything that's possible for your project, and then you can adjust it to fit your budget. We have a lot of options of just how your project can go and still work. We like to talk with the customer and hear them and hear what they're wanting. So going through us, you don't have to do the hard labor, and you don't have to do it yourself, and you can trust that we're going to do it how you're wanting it to be done. We like to hear, and we like to work with the customers just to make sure that their project is what they want, because you're paying for it. We want to make sure you're paying for exactly what you want. We want to exceed your expectations and just make sure that you're comfortable and confident that when we come in, it's going to be done exactly how they're anticipating it to be done, or what their vision is that they think they can do, but then they start and it's a little harder than they thought before going into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of expertise that goes into this. You can't
Yeah.
just watch a few YouTube videos and say, hey, now I'm an expert. There's always something you miss,
Mm-hmm.
and it just can't be comprehended. It's where they talk about how many years of experience, and with 22 years
Yeah.
with the company and then all the expertise with all the people that have worked there for so long, you're going to do the project right. And we're going to show off a lot of the work here. We're going to stick around for a second half hour here, everybody. And we're going to go through some of the pictures they've got for a lot of the work that they've done over 22 years and on their Facebook and on their website. But yeah, I mean, so many people, they want to try to cut corners.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example, one that I messed up myself. And I didn't know this because you do your research and you think you've got it nailed down. I went up to the big box store and I bought some of those little bricks that you can stack,
Yeah.
and they got the lip on them so that they kind of hold in place. And slowly over the years, they just started leaning forward,
Yeah.
and now they go into the ground like this. I didn't know you're supposed to put gravel underneath
Yeah.
there to start off with,
Chip
to
rock,
give it
yeah.
aggregate to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
And so then erosion just helped, and now I've got a nice, looks like somebody designed a wedge to go into my yard. And it doesn't look terrible, but you can tell it's like, is that a special design? Or
Yeah.
no, we messed up. and didn't do it
That's
right.
funny.
But these are the kinds of things, mistakes you don't want to make, because now you got to rip that all out. And
And then redo it.
and
Do
thank goodness
twice
it was
the
a
work,
smaller
yeah.
thing. But how often do you have times where people have started projects and then you have to come in and go, well, let's take over here, we'll fix it for you?
For me, I haven't, but I know there's times like I met with a customer this morning, and they're a couple who love to do it themselves, but they just know this project's just something they're not going to be able to tackle on their own. So it is fun to meet people who are doing projects while we're doing projects at their house. But I've never gone in and their project's half done, and they're like, I just couldn't finish it. But I've met a lot of people while we're doing work on the outside. They're doing work probably in the inside, or maybe even as simple as a deck. So we've definitely had those where there's work going on while we're also at the job site.
Yeah, okay. Well, tell me, why should somebody choose you guys? What sets Baker apart from the rest? I mean, you've got lots of experience and some expertise, and the family business. What do you think it is that really sets you guys apart?
I think that we like to be really genuine with our customers. We would like to make them feel like we're putting them first, because we are. We want them to know that we're listening to them and we're wanting to do exactly what they're wanting. And we like to work with them. We like to give suggestions if they're not liking what we're saying. If like, I don't know if I want to do that color, that style. I mean, there's so much you can see when it comes to retaining walls, pavers. There's so many different styles. Or if they want to go concrete instead of retaining or instead of pavers, we want to hear, and then we'll give them the cost of the difference and why we recommend pavers over concrete or a difference. It's just we like to communicate with them, involve them in the project, involve them in the decisions that we're making behind the scenes, as well as what's going on in their backyard. We just want them to be included, because really the more they're included and the more we communicate with them, it's going to make the job a lot easier, and to make sure there's no hiccups or no miscommunication on what they're expecting. So I'd say that's what puts us apart, is we want to listen and make sure that when it's the finished product, it's what they wanted from the start.
Yeah, people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in
Yeah.
some cases here, or at least 10 or 20 or 30, and they don't want to have something that they have to come back and say that's not what we wanted. Right?
And then
I like
tear
how-
it out or something
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we don't want that.
I like how you talked about communication, which is
It's the biggest thing we found out. Like, you can communicate, and so many people communicate differently. And I've even found that this year, just communicating and learning how people communicate, because I've miscommunicated because I didn't understand or interpret it. And it's really just a learning experience. You're not going to be able to 100% understand sometimes, what they're trying to get through, especially because it's hard to visualize something until it's done. Like, we have our, models that show what the project's going to look like, but it's still sometimes hard for the communication of we're on the same page and we're speaking the same until then you put it in there like, wait, that's not what I wanted. So then it's like learning to how to communicate with what the customer is exactly trying to say what they want. That's been a big thing for me, just learning exactly what they're wanting, and to just listen hard and to make sure I'm not going too fast, because I know sometimes I'll fall into that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the finished project, we're going to work with you, and we're going to make sure that's exactly what you want. We're going to put an arm and a leg out to make sure everything's good.
That's how professionals operate. It's interesting seeing somebody. I don't know your age exactly, but
22 years.
22 years. But to have the experience and have that perspective, family raised you right, they would say, right, and kept you on path to make sure you're doing things with the quality, integrity, and all the things that we all know that are so important. Which leads me to my next question. What do you think is one of the biggest benefits of working with a small business like your own? workers
We
do you
have 50. We have about 8 in the office, and then we're at 42 in the field.
Okay.
We have H2B that come in from February all the way to they're leaving this weekend till November. They help with our labor with the maintenance and landscaping and hardscape. They're hard workers and they're excellent when they're here, and we just love them. But then we have snow coming up, so then we have about, I'd say it's still 42 Americans that will be here for the snow for whenever we get, hopefully something not like last year that was only ice. But so
Yeah,
we
that
have shoveling crews, and we have the trucks, and we have the skid steer operators for the bigger plazas. So it's exciting, and it's I don't know, you're always moving. There's never a slow time.
So you've got a nice sized crew that works for you, but
Yes.
and my point there, my question is, because you are still have a smaller crew,
Yes.
50 people
Yes.
is not a huge. You're talking about the corporations. I used to work for Anheuser-Busch and
Yeah.
30,000 employees or something like that. But what's it like having a smaller crew like that
Yeah.
to manage and to help be more responsive and give a better product?
For sure. I think I like the smallness of it because it's easier to communicate and it's easier to manage and oversee whenever there's, 20 people I have to see on the daily. The communication's there. I get to see each and every one of them. I don't miss anybody. Whenever you get to the bigger size, I feel like you can't speak to everybody. It's just physically not possible. So like I get to be on the same page with all of them, and they're understanding what my expectation is. And I get to have more one-on-ones because it's not so large, and I get to, I guess have a relationship with my guys.
Yeah, you get to know and see who it is you're working with, because when you can look somebody in the eye and you know them from years or months or however long it's been, you can say, hey, Bob, I need you to take care of this. It makes a little bit, and that's better for the consumer. We talk about when the consumer has an issue and they want to talk to somebody, they talk to the first level, who talks to the second level, who talks to the third level, who talks to the vice president, who talks to the president, and by then the job's over and they're saying, just throw it together, we don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
And you don't deal with that with small businesses.
No, we
like
definitely
yourself.
don't. No, it's all more compact for sure.
Streamline, that's important. Okay. As we finish up this half hour, tell me then, what is the biggest mistake that you see that the average consumer makes? Is it they try to do it themselves, or is it they don't understand, they over budget, they don't realize there's more that goes into it? What are the biggest problems you see that people don't understand?
I think a lot of people don't understand with certain projects, you can have some change orders, and sometimes they don't understand maybe there's more charge to it. Like an example could be like when we're digging out a pool and you hit rock, it's unexpected just with Mother Nature, that kind of stuff, or just Mother Nature in general. With my side, with lawn maintenance, we have cleanups coming up for fall, and like when it rains, we have to kind of skip some days because it's hard to clean up their leaves if they're wet. That's the biggest thing we have to explain, is the stuff you don't know, or like why we're doing things, or not even that necessarily, but like when it comes to quoting projects, make sure not to always just pick the cheapest option. Make sure to kind of do background checks on the companies you're wanting to use. Make sure that they are capable to do your job, and don't hire and then have to rehire another company to fix that work. I would say is a few hiccups we've seen. Just to look into who you're hiring, would say is a big issue you could run into.
There you have it, everybody. That's our first half hour. Stick around for the second half hour. If you watch it later, it will be on our YouTube channel if you miss it on TV. Giddy up.